All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Ulysses Planning Board meeting for April 21st, 2026. First order is a roll call of board members.
Jeff McDonald.
Linda Little.
Carl Pankowski, Chair.
Well, fine.
For tonight's agenda, we have the following items: town board member reports, if we get one. Approval of the April 7th meeting minutes, privilege of the floor. For old business, we have the following items: Kearl site plan amendment and Foley Brenner site improvements and board member and staff reports. A suggestion from Niels is that we swap the order between the Foley Brenner and the Kearl site, since the Kearl's, we're probably gonna have more discussion with you, and the other one is an ODA that we've looked at several times. So I'd like to make the swap in the order.
Some motion to swap the agenda.
Okay, all right,
Favor?
just,
Yeah.
okay. So motion is approved as amended. All right, I don't see Liz around or Caitlin. Next we have review of past minutes. Has everyone reviewed the minutes for the April 7th meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Any changes or
Good
modifications?
to me. Good Lord.
A motion to approve?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, rolling right along there. Next is privilege of the floor, the portion of our board meeting where members of the public may make general comments on items that are not related to items on tonight's agenda. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes in length. I don't see anybody in the audience. You obviously have business. And the three up there all have business. In that case, do I have a motion to close privilege of the floor?
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay. For old business, we have discussion of the Foley Brenner site improvements, sketch plan review continued. Applicant and property owners, Maureen Foley and Jason Brenner. Proposed site improvements including grading, replacement of existing stairs and stormwater infrastructure and landscaping located 1191 Teganic Boulevard. Andy or Maureen, any changes since the last time you presented it to us?
No, we didn't change anything since the December submission. The stair design is the same. The reinforcing of the banks is the same. So no changes since then at all. We're just kind of going through this ODA process.
Okay.
Anybody with any questions?
No, we went through this.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything. Niels, is there anything formal that we need to do on this? Oh, I know what we need to do is, the town board is supposed to create the ODA on their 28th meeting next week. Do we want to set up a public hearing on this for our next meeting?
Did we have?
Oh,
Yeah,
Did we have?
Niels, I don't think we've held a public hearing on this, have we?
No, and you don't have to. It's at your discretion.
it's a staircase. I don't.
Behind the house, it's a repair,
Yeah,
replacement
yeah,
of what's there.
replacement. It's not something new. I mean, they are taking out some stone and whatever, but if you looked at the pictures, those stones should have come out years ago.
Right. Well, then, do we just want to send notice to the people within 500 feet, so if there's anybody that, there's no surprises in the neighborhood? You know, just
Oh.
a standard mailing.
She's saying that it's been approved.
Well, it's,
That we've
that
approved
it's, well, that it's coming
Can't
up
fill
for,
out.
that it's coming up for approval. You know, that's part of what we'll do is formally approve it. I think, Niels, am I right on this, that we will formally approve this on the May 5th meeting?
Correct. Yeah, so if you don't want to do a public hearing, then at a minimum, we would have to do the 500 mailers, which is easy enough for to get started on.
Well, why don't we just offer the hearing if no one comes? I mean, if we're sending, have to send something out anyway.
That's gonna bump it further.
Well, no, if we schedule it now for our May 5th
Fifth
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah, then it would be right after the meeting. If it was approved, it's approved.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm assuming there's enough.
we've typically done that. We've gone with all the properties and,
Yeah.
you know, it,
It just gives people in the neighborhood, you know.
yeah,
what's going
to
on.
notice what's going on.
Yeah,
Niels, why don't we go ahead with the standard public, hearing on it like we typically do, plus the mailing for those within 500 feet?
Okay, get that ready.
All right, and Andy, you'll need to get somebody to post the sign then for it for the public hearing.
Yep. I've been through that with me and Lori. Yeah, we got a system down. So Lori, just tell me when it's ready and I'll come get
Okay.
it.
All right, based on all that, then I think that's all we've got to do tonight on that. The
Yep.
public hearing is scheduled for May 5th,
Okay,
and the mailing will go out and signage will go up and
okay.
life will go on.
Should I make a motion to table it till May 5th?
Yes, please.
I just did.
second.
All right, all in favor?
I,
I,
Okay.
Do you need a motion to actually set the public hearing too, or no?
That,
I don't
Niels, I
know.
think we're okay on the public hearing, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do that in this case.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
Great.
we'll hopefully get you moving on this.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Yep.
so much.
All right. Next is the Kearl site plan amendment. The applicant and property owner Kenneth and Patricia Kearl applied for a site plan amendment for the subject site to permit civil work within the steep slope overlay, including grading, excavation, and fill of approximately 50 cubic yards, retaining walls, steps, riprap, gabions, and realignment of the driveway. Would you like to bring us up to date? It's been a couple years since we've really gotten into this.
Yes. So I had a site plan approved in 2018. And I have a copy, the town should be able to reference it, of course. And it had certain features in it. Including, I'll just say, a stairway, a landing, a stairway on my property down to the concrete pad that was installed in about 2010. And it also had, on the north end, it had a underground stormwater system, and where it daylighted and then going down to the lake. And so those were key features. I had a driveway around the north end of the property that is included in the current site plan. I think after some consideration, I'd like to widen that a little bit. My property has an access road that cuts across it that goes to my neighbor to the north. And I think that area, it's about 20 feet at the narrowest point from the boundary line to where there's a stone retaining wall. And so part of that on the north end is I'd like to make a raised bed garden along the north property line. And then just to the south of that, I'd have the gravel driveway that curves around to my house as it is. Now, one thing different than the 2018 plan was I've added a pathway on the north end that curves down the hill and around and ties into the concrete pad. And I mean, that is something that I wanted. I thought it would be good for walking, for safety going down the hill. I think you'd have more traction, and I think less maintenance overall compared to trying to mow grass there or something. So I added that in. Along the lake shore, after getting approval from DEC, and I provided a letter to the town about that, they recommended like a stone retaining wall running from the pad northward toward the riprap that's coming down from the where the stormwater system daylines. And that, really with this high water that we're having now, there's that high water is causing erosion along my shoreline. And they recommended that we install it, bury it down about a foot and bring it up to current level or practically current level, because I do plan to bring in some topsoil for planting in that area. So we can plant grass and other things to control the erosion, but I bought that property in 2003 and we had no real problems with brown muddy plume off of our property or something like that. It's just, it's always had grass there. Yes, it's a fairly steep hillside, but it's never been, a major source of erosion or anything. And so I don't expect it to be a problem in the future. We're take claim would be, at our last meeting we had, I think in 2024 with this board, then you asked for a few things to support that plan. And one was a stormwater prevention plan. One was a geologic assessment because I wanted to build a retaining wall. And you asked for a planting plan. And I also had the DEC give a non-jurisdictional letter. So the result of those, and of course, a plan or
Bless you.
a surveyor plan that showed the topographic of the property. And what happened was I took that topographic of the existing that was at the time the town expressed concern about my activities. I took that plan and I sent it to Marathon Engineering. They used that exact same plan without any change in landscaping or anything else to take it and use it as the base for the stormwater prevention plan. They came in and did coring for the geologic assessment, and that if you read the report, you understand that the current geologic supports up to an 8-foot tall wall. If I wanted to build it that high, the geologic subsoil foundation would support it. It's not my intention, but that's the result of that plan. At the time of our last discussion with the town, I have a drain pipe, a gutter pipe that comes down from the house. And we had some discussion and agreement that that would get pipes behind the retaining wall I want to build on the landing and over to where the riprap was for the stormwater system coming out. And so that's incorporated into the stormwater prevention plan. And when the engineer came to my site, then I pointed out to him that there's a drop box for the stormwater system that's on level near the driveway that cuts across our property. And that was not being used. It wasn't active because the ground had never been landscaped appropriately so that the runoff water would actually get in it. It was sitting, and it's still sitting about 3-4 inches above, I'll just say, surface level. And so one of the recommendations in the stormwater prevention is to regrade that area so that water can feed into that drop box and then go out through the towards the lake, all in an effort to minimize any erosion or make the system work better. So those are the biggest things that I can point to.
You're still planning to put the staircase, the big stone staircase in as part of that?
Yes. That's and it's a little bit odd to me. So in 2018, I had the site plan approved for what it was, right? And the stairs there, the landings there. You look at, I have a, if you look at the plan that was approved, those stairs are in place and part of this. And at the time, they were identified as concrete stairs. I was gonna build forms and pour it. And, but then, in 2019, I understand that the zoning law changed. And I didn't know about it, but, the area, the unique area that where I'm located, even if I had a site plan that was approved, if I was moving more than 10 cubic yards of soil, I had to go back to the town for another approval of the site plan and a DPW permit for the whatever amount I was. So I didn't know that. In 2021, I contacted Mark Washburn. I sent him all of my files. I said, here's my site plan, here's my the permit for dock, guidelines for Army Corps, here's the grading plan. Do I need any more permits? And he and I had 2 different conversations and 2 different times to email exchange. And he said, no, I do not need any more permits. And I asked him again, what about the stacked stone stairs? And he said, based on New York state law, that's landscaping. You don't need a permit because there's no foundation for it. And so based on that, I just continued on my merry way. And 2 years later, I had enough money lined up. I got Proctor P&S Excavating to come in, and he started excavating and started doing the landscaping. And I had him contracted for there was a tree, like a tree stump, and put in the riprap for the stormwater system, and put in the stairs, dig out the landing, put in the stairs. And so I was going down that path and I assumed everything was good. Okay. Then I've had a rocky road with my neighbor to the north, and he contacted the town, complained about it. Niels came back to me. I didn't have any DPW permit. I didn't know I needed one. And so at that point, he sent me a letter and said, stop all work. And so I did. And that's when I fed him all the information that he asked for, and it went back, to the town. So that was unfortunate because I bought that property in 2003, and I've been working with the town on plans, site plans. I put 2 lots together. I moved a road. I built a house. I mean, I've worked with the town on permitting a lot. And if I thought there was a permit required, I had no deadline for me to get going on the project. I just didn't know it existed. And so, but, we are where we are. And so in the meantime, my neighbors to the north, I'll just say, initiated litigation against us because in their site plan that they submitted to the town in the fall of 2016, directly contradicted what I was doing and what was approved by the town for my site. He moved the access road and he created a new parking area on our property. And I didn't know he did that. I didn't know it was submitted to the town. And I didn't know that my plan said this and his plan said this. And so that was, so he initiated litigation against us to create the new parking area directly in front of built a house directly in front of his new garage. So, that, I'll just say 5 years and $150,000 later, the judge finally ruled on the matter. And he did not have authority. We can read it, that's all public. He does not have authority to unilaterally relocate the driveway. He did not have authority to unilaterally create a new parking area on our property. And so, not a great thing, but in the end, he changed from just having parking in front of his property. He changed and said, oh, well, we have rights to park because we parked on your land, as with the old cottage, before they tore it down, they parked on part of our property. And so in the end, the judge ruled that he had a right, he does have a right to park on 350 square feet on our property in a rectangle shape that is 35 feet long, and 10 feet wide. And so that is what it is. This plan that I submitted to the town, I worked with the surveyor. It accommodates what the judge ruled. No change. I don't have to do anything to satisfy the court ruling, and it will fully satisfy what I want to do with my property going forward.
That's a saga.
That's a saga. So
Jeepers. Oh,
I'm just gonna say that I thought this was the most complete package that I've ever seen
I
submitted to the
know.
planning board. That's
Yeah.
my thought.
It's just-
A
I
lot of
do have-
information and good stuff in there.
Oh, I do have one question. There are several plans. They're all dated January 24th and they're both different. So which one are we going by?
I submitted a new plan just
It's still,
a month ago.
yeah, and it's dated January 24th.
Of 2024.
Well, it's the last one I submitted. I'm not sure why the surveyor is not modifying that date. He's changed
So,
what's on the I'll just say on the plan.
Is there
Okay.
a revision box on the one?
That's I'm sure the latest version on it.
what's the difference?
well, that's the problem. Without the date
Yeah,
being
this one-
changed, we don't know which
No,
version
this-
it
This
is.
one is amended January 28, 2026.
Where does
Where do you see that?
In very tiny print
Oh.
right there.
Okay. So,
Oh, January, okay, I didn't see that little,
It's very tiny.
Neither did
that's
I.
really small.
Good thing you know where to look. Yeah.
He should have put it up a much larger because it's important.
Well, I see the amendments up there. There's one in October of 25 and then in January
Yeah,
of 26. All right. Well, that cleans that up.
okay, that takes care of that problem.
Yeah, I read through all this last night. And I agree, Jeff. That was by far including the specific trees and where they're getting planted and all the rest of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
Okay.
Anytime you see a seal and a stamp on a
Yeah.
plan, there's gonna be a date associated with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we
Right.
have survey.
So where is the concrete or the driveway area that you were talking about?
which one? Oh, the
Parking space.
courtroom.
yeah,
It's not on that site plan, but I could give you an idea of where it is.
Okay,
And I'm
There's-
gonna have a surveyor come over and peg it.
yeah, just draw it in.
just
Okay.
sketching. Yeah.
It's gonna be about, it's right on the end of this, comes over here 10 feet. And it comes up here 35 feet, and I think it's gonna be about like that.
Yeah, okay, and that's,
Now he,
what is it, gravel or
no, it's grass,
it's
there's
gravel?
nothing there. So
Oh,
my neighbor, when he has built his new house, he dug all this out. He's got a propane tank buried right there,
oh,
5 feet behind the fence.
So how did they get to this parking space?
Well, judge said, he's gotta figure it out. Can't use my property.
Could I see the?
Yeah.
Let me see what this is.
It's beyond that new planter that's next to the driveway. It's right on the property
Over
line.
here.
Yeah, that piece down there.
There's a planter there.
Well, I thought maybe it was right across the
Yeah,
end of the
that's what I
driveway
thought.
coming
Yeah.
down, but
No, he
no.
does not have that authority to arbitrarily create a new parking area on my property.
So it's beyond where the grade is. It's,
Well, as I calculated, it's about a 17% slope right there.
yeah, but I remember there's a grate right by the end of
Yeah,
his
yeah,
garage
yeah.
and he's beyond that.
Yes, east of that. About, I would say 4 or 5
Where's
feet.
he parking now?
No, he has a
He
big
has a
concrete
big
pad in front of his
concrete pad
house.
ahead of his
Yeah.
garage.
Yeah, it's a,
Right there.
yeah, there's
Just
a,
come in the driveway and that, but I guess this was one of those old things that they used to park on this spot for years when there was a cottage or something. Apparently they've
Yeah.
owned this similar to you for like 25 years.
Yep, that type of issue,
mhm.
adverse
It's like
possession.
squatters, why you watch out for squatters' rights.
Adverse possession, yeah.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Well, that was
Yeah,
one option.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody warned me about that once.
Remember when we were talking about ODAs and road accesses and
You
if
could-
it had been that way for
And it wasn't.
20
in the
years or
deed
30
or
years, it wasn't in the deed or anything else, but it's recognized as, it's always been that way, and I guess that's what this falls into the same category. Interesting.
Well, it's gonna be interesting how he gets there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can. Myself,
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably never done it.
I don't see how he can. You have to drive over his propane tank.
Niels, what do we need to do to finish this up? I think we've got plenty of detail as far as I can tell.
Yeah, just a public hearing.
Yeah, so he did supply everything that the board previously asked for about 2 years ago. Looks very thorough. So if it looks good to you, we can do a renotice for the public hearing, and we should have enough time to do that for the 5th if you want.
Will the 5th of May work for you on that?
Yes.
You'll end up posting the sign 10 days before. Niels will get it ready for you.
Okay, I have a couple.
Yep,
couple
that's
questions.
good. That's what we're looking for.
Well, we talked about the plan, and I went back and tried to find the video of our meeting the last time we talked to you, but I remember there was discussion about the gravel pathway as well as having the stairs. And then the necessity for doing that, because it just gives you so much more area for runoff, going down the driveway, going down the walkway as well. And I don't remember I thought there was a come back to us about that, or we needed some discussion about why you needed both.
Linda, originally, that pathway was a driveway. Now it's changed to a pathway, so it got smaller.
Okay,
But originally it was a driveway
right.
going
okay.
down, going down to the pad. Right, and now it's made into a path instead, so it has gotten smaller. And that was the discussion because the driveway would have had a lot of runoff going into the lake.
Okay.
So now it's a path.
Right, and that's gonna be gravel as well?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what it states.
yes, it'll have they have, I don't know if it's plastic or rubber, but they have inserts. That you dig it out, you put it in a sand bed, you put in these forms, and then you fill that up with gravel. And
Okay,
that holds all of the gravel in place. So you're not getting erosion down the hill from running.
Okay.
that kind of-
Yeah, that's the only concern is the runoff from all of this.
yeah,
The explainable, kind of mesh, what that's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, because with only the stairway going down, if you're trying to get anything down to the beach, down to that pad they've got on the beach, you're lugging it down the steps rather than if you could roll a cart down or something like that, or if you're trying to get a canoe or kayak down to the beach.
Yeah,
A regular walking path would be much more reasonable than trying to go down a set of steps.
so the question was, why not just use the walking path, period? And not have the stairway?
Well, I think the stairway is built
Yeah.
in, it's part of the feature of the house and
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Probably,
I know.
Over to there.
70% constructed at this point. Before we stopped work, we had that all excavated, planning to do the installation.
Yeah, and that was on the plan from the 18,
That's right.
Yeah.
but the pathway wasn't, or the
That's correct.
driveway was not. So that was the big change between the 18th. That's
And the-
where we were having a conversation.
and the only other thing that we discussed was where that pipe comes out. out of the driveway comes down.
And that.
We were gonna, yeah, they were gonna put stone in there, which is now stone in there, so that was be so that the flow wouldn't be washing out the beach area.
Yeah, I, even in 2018, the riprap where the storm water system daylights,
Yeah,
that needed improvement.
right, right. And we discussed that the last time, because I remember that.
So that's part of the plan, and that's what we'll do.
Yeah,
And that's really what DEC, I think, was looking for too, is to
Right.
break up the water.
They were looking, they staked out on my shoreline. They said as long as I stay west of that, 383.5,
Right,
that they have no issue. And
Hmm.
so everything contemplated
that's the mean high water line.
Yeah,
That's that.
is west of that.
mhm.
Yeah, they put markers in, didn't they?
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Okay, and so from the other discussion that I remember, see if you agree, Mo, was around to the planting plan for the area to, not that some, that you don't have anything marked on it now.
Yes,
It's
you
like this.
need to go down to the place of the sheet. That's the sheets that show the more complete plan. There's a whole planting plan in there.
Yeah.
With
This one?
what type of tree and bush is
Yeah.
going where and all the rest. of it.
No, I know, but I think we had concerns about then further south. Of the house because the vegetation had been taken out of there and what the planting plan was there because it was just like rock.
That was, yeah,
So,
above the cement
Yeah.
pad. That was all rock when we went to see it at that time.
well, even further to the south of it.
Oh.
Pretty steep cliff when you go farther
I
south.
thought there was, yeah,
and
it
the
looked
pad.
like vegetation had been pulled out of there
No,
and that,
it's really not.
oh, okay,
Unchanged.
okay.
Uh,
And so there's no plan to plant that or anything?
well, the lake, south of the concrete pad, the lake, along the lake shore is grass that I mowed. And the hill goes, I mean, it's a pretty steep drop off, coming down the hillside. There is some, mix of stuff that's grown wild up along there to, bushes,
Okay,
trees, all that stuff, that
and
haven't
that's the
touched,
plan,
haven't
okay.
touched, don't plan to touch.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to remember. I just remember the key points that we were trying to talk about. Couldn't find the video. Cause the minutes didn't cover it. Okay, those are my only questions.
All right.
And see, they have a full list of stuff here. They plan on following everything.
The
I
planting
know,
plan?
Yeah,
What no, on the construction about fertilizer, mowing, inspection of
Well,
pools.
it's part of the
standing water.
stormwater protection plan.
Yeah,
There's several pages in there for the
Yeah.
contractor to follow and all. that sort of
Well,
stuff.
I mean. Once we finish, I'll just say shaping things, and once we get the, stone installed for the riprap. And work along the shoreline, bring stone down for that. I think one of the last things we'll do is, bring in topsoil. And then seed it for, grass in those areas that, will continue to grow. We're gonna, in the planting area, I don't think we're gonna plant all those things at one time, but I think it will layer in. And we'll have, we like the potentilla, so we'll, have 20 of those planted around and we'll work on it. Not gonna allow any erosion or anything.
There is a plan in there that shows the construction.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lists of it. I do have a question for you. On the north side, does his dock is on your property?
Yes, it is. And that's the 1993 right-of-way agreement that was signed by Jay Wilson and the people that bought that property originally.
Okay,
Includes the access road going across our property
yeah,
and right to use that dock exclusively, even though it's
on your property.
5 or so feet over onto our property.
Yeah, well, I noticed the lot lines and I was just curious. why why that was there.
Just, I guess, the fellow who bought the cottage, before, Sproles, dock was sold with the house,
Mm,
that's just what happened.
okay,
But
that,
the right of way's in the deed.
Oh, it's in the deed, it's referenced, the 1993 right-of-way agreement is referenced in the deed, I believe.
Yeah, okay,
Perpetuity type of thing.
but I mean,
That's how they access that.
yeah.
This area, he's actually part of one of the existing ODAs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of the two that covers this area down there. Just, because there's other properties off that same common road coming down from 96.
I think so, 5 houses there.
Or
5
from
houses there.
89, I mean, yeah. This,
Are you, you did say you wanted to, increase your driveway? Is that,
Only on the very north end, the, right, you look on the plan and
Yeah.
you'll see a raised bed garden along the
yeah, I see
north
that, yeah,
edge of the property.
Yeah.
From that over to the existing stone wall
okay,
that wraps around.
yeah,
That's a little bit wider than it is right now,
yeah,
but I think better than trying to plant grass in there or anything. I think it's better just to grade it so that drains into that stormwater drop box and make it gravel, minimize maintenance. I don't think you're gonna get any significant more runoff or anything from that little area.
hmm. Could that be put on the plan?
Pardon?
Could that be
Already
put on
on
the
there.
plan at some point?
this is proposed gravel driveways already there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one again, see? I have to look at the one that's been corrected, yep,
Yeah.
I see it now, yep.
Yeah, but it's gonna be all gravel, there's no.
Yeah, and it
all
built in
gravel
already,
to
they
the-
already have a drain box in there that goes into that.
Yeah, there's a
General
grate right
culvert
there,
that goes, there's
Yeah,
a grate
there's a
already
grate
there.
right there.
No, but rather than say proposed gravel driveway, shouldn't just say.
So
gravel.
your neighbor would not be able to use that gravel driveway to get to his little spot?
No, you cannot.
Then why did the judge give it to him?
Very clear from the court.
Okay,
Yeah, it would be good to have that whole area where it's gonna be gravel, where it's not.
Well, it's already,
Well, as the concrete plan.
it's already in there.
Well, is it,
Yeah, he's talking about.
it's
between
east
this
of the grate,
planter and there, the wall that comes around the house that's already there.
yeah,
This in here is what he's widened out. I don't know, is there grass there now or is there already
it is.
gravel?
There is, well, just scrub at the moment because I haven't really done anything there
For
for
2
almost 2
years.
years.
wait a minute, so,
You're down in the stormwater study. Right?
That's the first page of the whole 73 pages, I think.
Yeah, if you look at the stormwater layout,
all right, let me go back up. I
Design
probably have the wrong one.
The very first.
Oh,
page.
there we go, okay,
the stormwater plan identifies along the north property line, I'll just say a box or something for excess cement that you want to get rid of, right?
yeah,
But I'm not using any cement, and I brought that up to the the engineer, and he said, well, if you don't need it, you don't need it, but I'll put it in here and. But
Yeah,
there's no plan to cement anything.
It's a wash out for the truck.
yeah. But since he's just putting in stacked stone.
okay, I see that. Great, sorry.
No, that's
A lot of-
Too many drawings.
what we wanna do is answer any questions so that we're all ready to go on this. Alright. Niels is then, so we need to, I guess. Formal, motion to
I'll
schedule the
make, yeah,
public
I'll
hearing,
make a motion to schedule the public hearing on May 5th.
Second.
right, all in favor?
I,
Thank you for your time.
So there's still a stop work order on my property from Neil's, and I don't plan to do anything until the site plan is approved.
Right.
But I have a court order that says I have to move in that box where the 300 square feet,
Yeah.
250 square feet is. I got some big limestone blocks that are, I plan to use as part of my construction in the future,
Yeah.
but they're sitting
In that
in that box. So
350.
I'm gonna have to
square
get either move it with my tractor or get a big backhoe in there and pick them up and set them so they're no longer in that area. And I'll be working on that over the next week or so. I'm just gonna open that
move them
up.
onto your property.
That's right. Yep.
Niels, is that an issue or?
It's not an issue from our standpoint. We do have a department meeting tomorrow, so I can chat with Mark, and if need be, we can issue or he can issue a temporary permit for that, and we'll touch base with Ken tomorrow after that.
Okay.
Whatever's needed.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
The other thing that comes to mind is, I wanna construct a dock. It's not part of this consideration right now. This is just, landscaping. But, on my 2018 plan that was approved, I have a dock off there and ties into the concrete pad, which is 385.5. And so, where it would tie into that concrete pad. And so, I'm thinking about a dock that would conform to the Army Corps of Engineer guidelines and their general permit. So I'm gonna be working on that. I don't know when I can. Because the stormwater development plan specifies that you have to start construction on the dock 3 months after the permit's approved. And I don't have that kind of control over the dock builders.
Right.
Yeah.
You get on their build schedule and it's a year and a half out.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And so that's a concern I have. I need to talk to Niels about that, because I'm not sure, given the I'll just say that limitation, that's a problem. And I just think it needs to be addressed at some point in time.
Well, talk to Niels about it.
Yeah.
I can jump in real quick on that. So when you're ready, Ken, you can go through another site plan amendment for that. If there's a lag between the time the planning board gives approval and your construction permits, there is an extension the planning board can give. Otherwise, as soon as you submit your construction permits, Mark can continue to give you extensions as needed. You just have to ask for an extension within due time.
Yeah, there's always an extension, right?
That's
Yeah.
fine. And
Well, because dock building is definitely a,
That's an issue.
a 1 to 2 year lead time and it's when they happen to show up.
Oh, yeah.
Think
Yeah, we made the public hearing. You're all set till May 5th.
to see you in 2 weeks or a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Niels, I'll come by and pick up the sign.
Yep, as soon as we're done, we'll give you an email.
Okay, that's fine. Let me know when I can get it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, what's next?
Let's see, took care of that. The only other thing I had Neil send you guys that info on
Yeah.
yeah, I just figured while it was available to share it and that sort of stuff. I saw today on, when I was looking back at the Foley Brenner thing in there, they talking like their farmland part of that. Was that little piece where, Glenwood Heights Road goes off
right.
of
Yeah.
89.
Oh, yeah,
Heads up
yeah.
the hill that's just been transferred to the park.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the piece of farmland that was within 500 feet of the Foley Brenner, but it's now parkland.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's so interesting. Yeah, we should keep track of it because, especially with the comp plan, if you're putting a development area in the middle of.
Yeah, I figured that's why I wanted to share that with you, to better understand, because like the group that owns that chunk of property out west out there off Indian Fort Road that came in and made a big presentation to the comp plan and that sort of stuff. And their property is all north of Indian Ford Road.
Oh.
But in the stuff that they submitted, I discovered, oh, the bulk of what they're talking about is on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
We've encountered before, we've had something that touched, you know,
I'm-
so it
I'm
came up.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just planning for it.
But it's, yeah, it's, I just figured I would share it while we had the info available.
No, it was interesting. Yeah.
It was.
On that, I think we're
I'll
ready
make a motion.
to adjourn.
What's new, well, just
No.
quickly, what is new on your plan?
Oh, the
On the town
con,
plan.
we already turned it over to the
Yeah.
town board. And I went back through and reviewed, cause we had like 60 motions in that last meeting
Yeah.
to change stuff. Well, I went back through and they came out with the new one on like the 7th of April or something. Anyway, when they came out with the revised one
Yeah,
and made sure everything
That we talked about.
talked
right.
about had gotten taken care of, including the 5 that were made during the meeting. They had the draft minutes, so I could go find those.
Yeah, yeah.
And I verified everything. There was 2 of them that weren't word for word what we had changed. There was some, but I just pointed them out and sent them back to, you know, and I had asked Niels to share it with the rest of the steering committee members. I just sent it to Caitlin and Liz, since the town board now has it anyway.
okay.
So they knew that everything had gotten captured that we talked about. Just
And we did a lot of motions those days.
I know. I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wondered, all I knew was the motions were made, now what?
Yeah, well, that was Roxanne's concern, how would we know that this got done, so that's
Yeah.
why I just went through and took care of the details and shared with
Yes, I
everybody.
I made a good friend that day with Roxanne.
Yeah.
Well, the motion had to be made. Nobody was standing up, so I just made it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I've gotten involved with now for the town is this Cuba watershed, that seawall type thing. This Cuba Lake watershed
Yeah,
intermunicipal organization.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
town needed a voting rep for the town.
Oh.
And I didn't see anybody signing up for it, and so I asked Caitlin, and says, well, would it be okay if I did that?
Yeah.
And the next thing I knew,
Yeah. Yeah, never volunteer.
Roxanne came back and said, glad you took that on, cause she's the alternate, but she said you're too busy to try and make the meetings and all that. Well, it meets
Yeah.
every other month, like the 4th Wednesday of the month or something, so I figured, well, it can't be that stressful, but they stuck my nose into something new and.
Yeah, keep you out of trouble.
Yep, it does. All right, thank you, folks.
Oh, no,
We
we didn't, I had a motion, you didn't vote on it.
Oh,
All in favor of adjournment?
yeah.
Anybody say?
No, second.
All right.
Joseph.
Retro second and